Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining tonight for this gentle yoga class. I'm really excited to be doing live streaming. I know it's not as great as being together in person, but thank you so much for being here. And in case you haven't joined me on Instagram, you can find me for more information about other classes that I'll be teaching weekly. So this is going to be a weekly class every Friday. Please feel free to tell friends about it. So anyway, you can find me on Instagram at Upside Down Jeanne. And then also, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. And I'll be continuing to post some more videos there as well that you can take class whenever you're up for it if I'm not live streaming. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You won't need any props tonight, just your mat. Come to all the way to the very back of your mat. And we're going to sit back on our heels in Virasana, or Hero's Pose. So if this isn't comfortable for you, you can always just cross your ankles and take a seated position. But if you're able to, sitting back on your heels, and bring your hands onto your rib cage. We're going to take a few deep breaths. We're going to start to focus inward. Take a deep inhale, feeling your rib cage expand front, side, and back. Pausing at the very top. And then exhale, let it go through your mouth. Release. Good. Again, inhale, filling up. Starting to calm down your nervous system. Exhale through the mouth. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale again. This time, keep your lips closed as you breathe out through the nose. And begin to see if you can feel and hear the breath scraping along the back of your throat. Inhale. Pausing at the top. Exhale through the nose. Ujjayi breathing. One more time, sitting upright. Exhale, let it out. And then from here, take your hands to your hips. Begin to hinge forward over the legs and bring your hands down, walking your hands forward, keeping the legs together right now for our first child's pose. If you're not able to bring your head all the way down to the ground, you can bend your elbows, grabbing opposite elbows, make a little prop for your head to come and rest on. Or if that's even still too much, you can just bring your elbows to the ground, clasp your fists, and allow your head to relax down onto your hands. But wherever you're at, I want you to think about releasing all the way through the body, softening the muscles of your face and neck and shoulders, all the way down through the torso to your hips. And then feel your hips and your legs grounding you down into the earth. Closing your eyes, come back to that steady breathing. And here in our forward fold in child's pose, see if you can start to feel your breath lifting through the back body. Feeling that intake of air as your rib cage expands. Get a little lighter through the back. And then as you exhale, melting your chest closer towards your legs, forehead to the floor. So in tonight's practice, we're going to be focusing a lot on melting into our postures and releasing muscle tension. If at any point you feel any discomfort, you can gently come out of the poses. And just readjust. Come to a place where it feels better for you. Don't worry about how you look. Just noticing how you're feeling in the body. If you're all the way folded forward and your chest is comfortably resting on your legs, see if you can begin to bring your hands back towards your feet. And then interlace your hands behind you. From here, press your knuckles back and begin to lift your arms up towards the sky, stretching across the chest and into the shoulders.
Your forehead might be all the way down on the ground, and if it's not, it can just be floating up gently off of the mat as your chest relaxes into the legs. And so for many of us that are now working from home, probably sitting on the computer most of the day, start to open up across the front of the body as you let that chest release. One more deep breath here. On your next inhale, lower the arms and bring your hands forward again into your extended child's pose. Good. From here, pressing into your pinkies and your thumbs, start to lift your hands up and walk your fingertips back, lifting your chest and coming back to an upright position. Good. Bring your hands back behind your head. Interlace your fingers. Let your elbows come nice and wide. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, round your spine. Bring the elbows to touch as you drop your chin to your chest. Inhale, opening back up. Press your elbows apart. Exhale, chin to chest, elbows forward. 2 more times like that. Inhale, expand. Push your head back into the palms. And exhale, curl in. Good. Last time through. Inhale, lift and open. Feel that expansion across the front body. And exhale, bring everything back in. This time, we're going to hold here and just press your head back into your hands. As you do that, you might feel a little bit of space opening up through the back of the neck. And relax the shoulders down, releasing tension all the way from the neck down through the spine. Notice if you can soften the muscles of the face, so relaxing through your forehead and jaw. On your next inhale, elbows wide, lift up, and then bring your arms straight up to the sky. Crossing your wrists, spin your palms in and interlace your fingers here. And then notice if you're starting to kind of hunch or if the shoulders are reaching up towards your ears. See if you can lift tall through the spine and let the shoulders relax. And then at the same time, press the knuckles a little bit higher. Feel a stretch through the shoulders. As you exhale, bending your elbows, bring your hands to hover just above your head. And inhale, re-extend, press back up. Good. Exhale, melt the elbows out to the sides. Inhale, press the knuckles to the sky. Just one more time like that. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press and lift. Good. Release the interlace of your fingers. Bring your hands down beside you and roll your shoulders back. From here, your hands will come behind you, fingertips facing your feet, and just lower your palms down onto the ground. Good. Think about drawing your elbows in towards each other. And we're lifting the heart up. So another chest opener. Pulling the tips of the shoulder blades in towards each other. And then instead of dropping your head back, think about pulling your chin back towards your neck as if you were trying to make a double chin. So notice here if you're feeling any arching in the back, so more of this action happening, try to lower down, drop your tailbone, and from there just draw the shoulder blades together, lift up from your heart. Good. Keep pushing down into the palms, feeling an opening through the forearms and the wrists. And breathe into it. 2 more breaths. Inhaling fully. Exhale, relaxing through the shoulders, through the arms. 1 more time. Inhale, heart lifts. And as you exhale, gently release. Bringing your hands forward. Start to shift forward, coming onto hands and knees, tabletop position. Spread your fingers nice and wide, stacking your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. And on an inhale, round your back for cat pose. So we often do a different position when we inhale for cat and cow. We're switching it up today. Exhale, dropping your belly, lift your tailbone, gaze up. Good. Inhale, rounding the back, pressing into your fingertips and your knuckles. Feel the low belly sucking in and up. As you exhale, melting into your back bend, lifting your gaze, lifting the tailbone, and spreading across the collarbones. One more time. Rounding into your cat as you inhale. Pressing up away from the floor. Exhale, melting the chest down, lifting the heart. Good, and then come through a neutral spine. So low belly draws in, the bottom ribs are coming in towards each other, and you're stabilizing through the low back. We're gonna work a little bit on stretching out our wrists. So flip your right hand over so the back of your palm is pressing down into the ground, fingertips towards your knees, and then put a little pressure into the hand. Keep your arms straight here, and then just breathe into it. Couple of breaths. Keep shifting forward so that your left shoulder stays over the wrist. You can close your eyes, relax your shoulder blades, and then gently release. Bring your hand back to your starting position. Flip the left palm, fingertips towards your knees, and again, press gently into the back of the hand. So this is something that we don't do a lot of in our daily life. So you might feel a pretty intense stretch. And just notice if one side is different than the other. Notice where you might be holding on to tension and if you can relax and let go. Gently flip your left palm back over. Spin your hands so that your fingers face inward towards each other and keep the fingers spread nice and wide. And then you're going to take a little shift back and forth into one palm and then the other. Keep your arms straight here. And just a little side to side motion. Good. Keep lengthening through the spine, drawing the top of the head forward towards the front of your mat. And tailbone lengthening towards your heels. Good. Come back through center. Flip your palms back to the way we started. And then last one, spin your right fingers all the way back to face your knee if you're able to. If not, it might be angled out a little bit. So notice how far you can go. And if you're able to do both hands at the same time, see if you can flip your left hand around as well. And we'll be here for a few breaths. If you can only flip one hand at a time, you'll just spend a little bit of time there and then switch. From here, hinge back just a bit until you feel a nice stretch through your forearms, and then send your weight forward. So little forward and back motion. Take it easy. Press down into the knuckles and the fingertips. Good. Last time. And then gently spin your hands back to the way we started. Tabletop position. On an inhale, extend your right arm straight forward alongside your ear. And as you exhale, spin your arm all the way back and around. Nice big circle. Starting to find all of that range of motion in the shoulder. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, circle the arm back. 2 more times. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale to circle. Last time, reach all the way around. Good. Come back to the start. Reach your arm forward. Spin your left toes over to the left side of your mat, and then extend your right leg straight back. So we're in a modified side plank position here. Press into the outer edge of your right foot and extend out through your right arm. Good. From here, we're going to continue those circles. Exhale, circle the arm back. Inhale, reach the arm over your ear. Good. 2 more times. Exhale to circle. Inhale to reach long. Nice. Last time. All the way around, and then stop when your fingertips reach the sky. turn your rib cage and gaze up towards the ceiling, extending out from your heel all the way through the top of your head and rotating the ribs up and open. Good. Feel a little bit more spaciousness in that side body and see if you can breathe a little deeper. Settling in. One more inhale. As you exhale, come right back down, tabletop. And we'll take it to the second side. So reset, fingers nice and wide. Inhale, reach your left arm forward. Exhale, circle and reach the arm back. Again, inhale forward. Exhale, take it back. 2 more times, and going at your own pace. You might be a little slower or faster than I'm going, that's fine. And just really notice what's happening as you're finding that mobility in the shoulder. Are you tensing through your low back? Inhale, reach that arm forward. Now spin your right toes open to the right slightly as your left leg steps back into that modified side plank. Feel that lengthening of the left side body, and we'll continue the circles. Exhale, circle the arm. Inhale, reach it over the ear. Good. Keep that motion going. And as we're finding the mobility through the shoulder at the same time, notice if you're tensing anywhere through the shoulder, if you're pulling it up towards your ear, try to relax the muscles even as we find that mobility. Good. Last time around. And then reach your fingertips up towards the sky, turning your gaze. Keep pressing actively through the right fingertips. And one long line from your right arm all the way up through the left fingertips. Extending long through the back of the neck. Last inhale. And exhale, come all the way back down. Good. From here, bring your hands forward slightly. You're going to lower down onto your belly. And we're going to take another shoulder stretch here. So we're in a little cobra pose position. Walk your right hand forward a little bit to make a little space, and you press up into the fingertips. Slide your left arm across your chest. Don't turn your chest open, so you're going to keep your chest and your gaze forward towards the short end of your mat. And then just lower down onto that left arm. From here, take your right arm and draw it across as well. So you're kind of making a little cross of your biceps and inching those fingers side to side. See if you can come a little deeper into your stretch. And then just melt your chin down towards the back of your arm. Feeling the stretch across the arms and into the shoulders. With each inhale, think about finding a little bit more length through the arms. And as you exhale, melting down, maybe you even feel the arms extend a little longer. You can close your eyes here, settle in. Notice if you can allow the whole body to just get soft. So notice if you're squeezing through the backs of the legs, allowing the thighs to melt down into the floor, tops of the feet just relaxing. All the way through the torso, neck, and even the arms as we stretch them. Take one more breath. And then gently lifting your chin. Pull your right arm back over to the right side of your mat and unwind. Now we're going to come up onto the left fingertips. You can walk that left hand forward slightly. Right arm is going to slide across the body. Good. Once you're set up, chest stays forward. Take your left arm all the way across over to the right side of your mat. And you can wiggle those fingers a little bit further. When you're ready, drop your chin down. And we'll be here for a few breaths. Just notice now the second side, the difference in the body, right? We're not exactly symmetrical, and one shoulder might be tighter than the other. Think about allowing the tips of the shoulder blades to melt down towards your waistband. And then again, legs get heavy. There's no gripping that needs to happen here. The floor can hold you up. So if you are feeling that muscles are tensing, see if you can bring your awareness to that area of your body and invite the muscles to relax and let go. Just a few more deep breaths here. On your next inhale, begin to lift your chin. Draw your left elbow back over to the left side of the mat. And then we're going to come into Sphinx Pose. So elbows will come straight back alongside the body as you press into the forearms and push down into the palms. Feel as though you could just draw your whole torso between the arms and stretching out through the abdominals, through the front side of the body. Let your shoulder blades relax down and feel as though you can spread your collarbones even wider. Okay, keep your gaze straight forward so you don't need to crane your head and look up. Just let the back of the neck be in its natural curve. And again, relax through the legs. Take one more breath here. On an exhale, begin to lower back down. Slide your hands back so that your palms are right underneath your shoulders and draw the elbows in alongside your body. Inhale, pressing into the palms, little baby cobra pose. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, straighten out the arms, come back to a longer tabletop. Tuck your toes, and you're gonna lift your knees, bend your knees, and press back as if you were doing child's pose, hovering up off of the floor. And then as you're ready, you can begin to straighten the legs any amount, coming into a downward facing dog. You can walk the feet in slightly. Pedal out the legs, bend one knee and then the other, letting your hips move side to side. And if it's too much to fully straighten the legs, keep your knees bent as much as you want. Think about that child's pose. Pressing the arms back, lengthening the spine. And that's where I want you to focus today rather than worrying about stretching those legs straight. So take two more breaths wherever you are, whatever your down dog looks like today. Just breathe into it. Feel the weight of your head as the top of the head reaches towards the floor. And on your next inhale, gently begin to walk your hands back towards your feet. You can keep a nice bend in the knees. And then grab onto opposite elbows. Take a little sway side to side, ragdoll. And releasing your fingertips down towards the ground. Slowly begin to lift all the way to stand. Spinal roll, lifting up one vertebrae at a time until you come all the way to stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. You can keep your feet hips distance apart or step the feet together. On an inhale, circle your arms, reach to the sky. Interlace your fingers and reach your pointer fingers up. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, side bend up and over to the right. It might just be a tiny little bend, or maybe you can stretch even deeper, but go to a point that's comfortable for you so you don't want to be feeling any pinching or pain. Keep pressing down evenly through the feet, dropping your tailbone. Inhale, lift all the way upright. Exhale, side bend to the left. Let your shoulder blades relax. Think about spinning your inner thighs towards the wall behind you and pressing down evenly through the feet. Inhale, reach all the way back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Inhale, circle the arms. Slow exhale,
forward fold, you can bend the knees any amount. Uttanasana. And on an inhale, lifting just halfway, fingertips to your shins, send your heart forward. Legs can straighten, or you can keep that gentle bend in the knees. As you exhale, melt back into your forward fold. And inhale, circle the arms, rise all the way to stand. We'll do that one more time. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good, nice and slow. Inhale, reach tall. Full breaths. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. Reaching your fingertips to your shins, send the top of the head forward. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way back to stand. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. And then take your hands to your hips. From here, step your right foot forward a little further past the middle of the mat, but not a super wide stance. And then you can lift your back heel. So your hips are facing the front of your mat. Bend into your front knee, and we're taking a little mini crescent pose here. Go ahead and bend deeper into the back knee, hovering off the mat, and then straighten out that leg as you press the thigh bone to the sky. Keep your heel lifted. Again, bending down, squeeze the outer hips, and press and lengthen the leg. Good, just 2 more times like that. Maybe coming a little lower each time. Press out through the back of the leg. Last one, sink into it. Good, and straighten. Now from here, you're gonna let your left heel come down onto the floor. So we're in a little mini warrior one pose. If you don't feel balanced, you can scoot that right foot open to the right slightly. And then straighten out your right leg. So pressing into the right big toe a lot will help you stay balanced. Take a deep breath in as you stretch tall through your spine. And exhale, hinge forward halfway over the front leg. Notice if you're locking your knee joint, and see if you can put a little tiny bend in that knee by pressing into the big toe. So you feel your muscles engage. We want the calf muscle and the quad muscle turning on here to keep the knee safe. And then a couple deep breaths as you extend out long through the spine. So this should feel really great in the low back, especially if you're somebody who's sitting at a computer a lot, like most of us these days. See if you can find a little bit more space through the low vertebrae as you press the top of your head forward. Keep your elbows nice and wide. On your next inhale, take a little gentle bend into your right knee as you rise back up, warrior one. Good. From here, just step your left leg up to meet the right, and we'll switch sides. So step your right leg back, and take a second to set up your stance. You're gonna bend into your left knee and your right heel will lift up off the ground, mini crescent pose. Draw your bottom ribs in towards each other. So kind of notice if you're dumping the ribs forward and you're arching the low back. See if you can straighten all that out. And then bending into your right knee, sink down. Good, press the ground away as you straighten the leg. Sink down, and then press and straighten. Good, 2 more times, lower and hover. Extend, kicking out through the heel. Last time. Good, staying tall here, spin your back heel flat. Coming into that warrior one position, you can heel toe your left foot open slightly. Good, working to keep your pelvis and your chest facing the front of your mat. Straighten out your left leg as you press into the big toe. Inhale, lift tall through the crown of the head. Exhale, hinge forward over the hips, just halfway. Good, lengthening through the low back. Find lots of space there. And if it's too much on the hamstring, you can bend a little bit back into that left knee. So rather than focusing on that leg being straight, focus more on the spine lengthening and being able to hold that comfortably. So if that means you need to bend the left knee, bend it. Good. 2 more deep breaths.
As you send the head forward, heart lengthens, spine is making a little bit more space. On your next inhale, bend back into your left knee and rise up to stand. Good. From here, stepping the back leg up, come all the way to the top of your mat. Heels touch, toes touch, as much as you can get them to. Inhale, circle your arms, reach tall. Exhale, forward fold, bending the knees if you like. Inhale, lengthening halfway, long spine. Exhale, bend your knees as much as you need to bring your hands all the way down on the ground. And then step back one leg at a time, finding our plank pose. We're only going to be here for one breath. So take an inhale. And then as you exhale, lower your knees all the way down onto the mat, tops of your feet to the floor. Good. Zip up the low belly. So in other words, don't let a cow position happen. Keep the spine nice and long. And then bend your elbows straight back as you lower your torso all as one piece, chest and hips lower at the same rate. Inhale, lifting your heart, baby cobra pose. Good. And then from here, you're going to exhale, come back to tabletop. Walk your hands back to your knees and lift all the way up. Hands on your hips and your knees should be hip distance. You're going to step your right leg forward, so take your time with it. Press into the left knee and then come up onto the right foot. Step it forward. Good. From here, draw the right hip back and then hinge forward over your front thigh. Bring your fingertips down on either side of the foot. Tuck your back toes, and you're just going to scoot that knee back a little further, as much as you can go comfortably, and then bring the top of the foot back down. Good. From here, press down into the right heel and right big toe. One at a time, hands come to the front thigh. Good. And then from here, your low belly pulls in, lift up through the pelvis and the deep abdominal muscles. Press into that front foot and then feel the stretch through your back leg. You can stay here. If you want to add arms, you might reach the arms up to the sky. But we're not going for a back bend here, so don't send the heart forward or dump the ribs forward. Just keep everything nice and neutral, lifting straight up. Good. Last breath. Exhale, hinge forward over the leg again. If your hands are on your thigh, you're going to bring your fingertips down to the floor. From here, hinge back, reaching your hips towards your left heel and lift your right toes up. You can walk your hands back towards your left knee. So you're taking this into a half split position. Now only come back to a point where you start to feel a stretch. I don't want you to go so far that you're in crazy amounts of pain. It should feel like a nice opening through the back of the leg. Keep your leg active by pulling your toes towards your knee and digging your heel down into the floor. On an inhale, walk your hands towards the front of the mat, re-bend your knee, and come back to where we started. We're going to do that 2 more times. Exhale, walk the fingertips back, straightening the right leg, pull the toes towards you as you kick your heel into the floor. Inhale, bring it to the front of the mat, bending into the knee. Keep your heart open, so try not to collapse down and round the shoulders. Send your chest forward. Last time, stay back as we hold in our half split stretch. Now, option is stay here, or if you'd like a little bit more intensity, you could take your left hand to the outside of your right leg and begin to take a little twist here. Now be careful because the hips are going to want to try and move from side to side. So the hips stay put. You inhale, lengthen the chest, and then rotate the rib cage. And if that's way too much, don't worry about it. Just stay where you are. Good. One more breath. If you're in the twist, gently unwind, and we'll all come back to where we started, hinging forward. Press down into the right heel, bring your hands to your hips, and then press back until your right knee is right stacked over your ankle. And then you're gently going to slide that foot back. Take your time, and we'll switch to the other side. So left leg is going to step forward. Take as many steps as you need to get there safely. And then hinge forward, bring your fingertips to the ground. Tuck the back toes to lift that knee and just scoot it back a couple inches. When you feel comfortable, dropping the back foot. And then one hand at a time, pressing into the front thigh, zipping up that low belly to lift a little higher, straight up through the top of the head. Good. Feel the bottom ribs drawing together and a little bit more length and space through the spine. Staying here or reaching the arms straight up. 2 more deep breaths. Pressing down into that left heel. Exhale, hinging over the leg. Bring your fingertips down. Good. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Begin to walk your hands back as you straighten out the left leg and pull your toes towards your knee. And then again, notice if you start to round the back and slump in, try to stay lifted, pressing your heart forward towards the front of the room. On your inhale, you bring it forward. Nice and easy as you stretch through the quad of your back leg. And sink back as you exhale. Pull the toes up, pressing into your heel. Again, inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, come on back and stay here. Or if you'd like to go for your twist, right hand to the outside of your left leg. Take a deep breath in, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, rotating the rib cage, not the hips. So the hips stay put. Keep digging your heel down into the ground, pulling your toes back towards you, and open up through the back of your left leg. If you're in your twist, gently unwind, and we'll all come forward. Good. Lifting all the way back up, hands to hips, shifting back, and then slide your leg all the way back. Good. From here, come forward back to hands and knees. One more time through cat and cow. This time we'll inhale for cow as you drop the belly, lift the tailbone, and gaze up. Exhale, rounding your spine. Push the ground away, straight arms. Just one more time. Inhale, cow. And exhale, rounding into cat. Good. Come back to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes, and we're going to go back into our downward facing dog. So lift your knees up. Push back first as if you were taking child's pose with the knees hovering. And then straighten out the legs any amount. Two breaths here. It might look like this. Maybe you're a little straighter. Taking your time and just honoring wherever you're at today. On your next inhale, lift your heels super high, look forward, and gently begin to walk your feet up towards your hands, coming into a forward fold at the top of your mat. As you inhale, rise all the way to stand. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Step to the middle of your mat. We're going to take our arms open wide, and then step your legs wide so that your ankles are underneath your wrists. So it's a really wide stance here. And then bring your right hand to your right hip crease. From deep in the hip, you're going to turn your thigh bone open so that your right toes are facing the short edge of the mat as much as you can rotate. Good. Bring your arm back out and angle your left toes in slightly, then bend your right knee. So coming into warrior two. And we'll be here for a couple of breaths. Reaching out through the arms. If your arms are feeling tired and you'd like a break, just bring your hands to your hips. Think about keeping that spine as tall and lengthened as possible. So the tailbone is dropping straight down, and then you're lifting up through the crown of the head. Good. One more breath here. On an inhale, spin your right palm to the ceiling and then reach up and back a little, side bend here in a reverse warrior. So it doesn't have to be super deep where you're reaching all the way down towards the ankle. Just lifting the heart, maybe gazing up towards the ceiling and allowing the shoulders to relax. Try to keep that bend in the front knee as much as you can. On an exhale, rise back up, warrior two. Inhale, straighten out your right leg. Press into the big toe. So again, we want to lock that joint out. There should be a softness in the back of the knee. As you exhale, reach as far forward towards the short end of the mat as you can. So it should be a long stretch. And then as far as you get, just drop your hand down. Bring it to wherever it can reach on the leg. So maybe it's your thigh, maybe it's just below the knee. And then take your top arm up towards the sky for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Again, there might be a little bit more bend in that front knee if it's feeling too much in the hamstring. Let it feel like a nice stretch, but no pain. I don't want you to feel discomfort here. 2 more deep breaths as you reach the top arm towards the sky. On your next inhale, gently come back up. Good. Bring your hands to your hips and you're going to turn your toes parallel towards the long edge of the mat. You might walk in slightly if you were feeling a little too wide. We'll take a forward fold. So hands on your hips, deep breath in. As you exhale, hinge forward just halfway like we did earlier in that warrior one position. So again, you want to feel lengthening through the spine. And then once you're here, you can allow your chin to melt down towards your chest. Maybe you want to slide your hands down to your shins, but if that starts to round the upper back, just keep your hands at your hips. For many of us, we tend to drop the weight back into our heels. See if you can actually rock forward more and put weight into the big toe mounds. That's going to give you more space through the legs to let your chest come down lower, which we'll do in a couple minutes. So 2 more breaths, lengthening the spine, sending the heart forward. On your next inhale, gently rise all the way to stand with a flat back. Good. Taking this to the second side. So left hand in the left hip. Feel that left thigh bone turning open as you angle the toes towards the short end of the mat. Try to keep your pelvis and your chest facing the long edge of your mat as you reach your arms wide. Angle the back toes in slightly and bend your knee, finding your warrior two. Maybe close your eyes here, testing your balance. And as the legs are active, we want to see if we can allow the torso, the upper body to just feel light. You're floating here on top of the legs. So notice if you're squeezing anywhere through the shoulders, the arms, the face. Just let that all relax. Good. Spinning your left palm to the sky. On an inhale, reach up and back for a little mini reverse warrior. And trying to keep that nice bend in the front knee. If it becomes too much, just release a little bit. Feeling that stretch through the little muscles in between the ribs, your intercostal muscles that don't get stretched that often. Good. Inhale, come back up. And then straighten out the left leg, pressing into the big toe. Exhale, reach as far forward as you can. When you can't reach forward anymore, then just bring your hand down and let it rest wherever it can reach on the leg as the top arm comes up towards the sky. Trikonasana, triangle pose. And then again, if you need to, take a little bend in that front knee. Let it feel good through the back body, lengthening through the side, the ribs, and the spine. As you breathe in fully. You can turn your gaze up towards your top palm, if that feels okay on the neck, or look down at your big toe. Good. On an inhale, rise all the way back up. Hands to your hips and turn your toes back to parallel. So now we're going to come down further in our forward fold. You might bend your knees for this. So inhale, lengthen out. As you exhale, hinge forward. And you're gonna bring your right hand down towards the ground. If you're super far away from the ground and you're like, there's no way I'm getting there, bend your knees as much as you need to bring your hand down to the ground. You want your palm pressing into the earth, and it's not way back here behind your feet. It's actually further forward. You want to make like an equilateral triangle between your hand and your feet so that you can shift forward, lengthen your spine. So with that pressure moving forward into the palm, take a deep breath in, and then exhale, rotate towards the left, using your left hand to guide your chest open. You can stay here if you feel okay. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Again, maybe there's a super deep bend in the knees. That's fine. As long as you can feel that rotation of the chest, the torso opening, and pressing down into the right palm. One more breath. As you exhale, left hand comes down to replace the right hand. Spreading your fingers nice and wide. Bring your right hand to your hip crease. Again, you might bend the knees a lot here. Take a deep breath in and exhale, rotate your chest open to the right. You can stay as you are or reach that top arm up. Maybe you feel a little bit more comfortable and ready to straighten the knees any amount. But again, don't worry about what you look like. Worry about what you're feeling in the body. So if it feels like I need to bend the knees, because if I don't, I'm feeling tension and discomfort, then definitely take that. We want to allow the muscles to release stress here. Good. Last breath. Exhale, unwind. Walk your hands back in a little closer towards your feet, and one final forward fold. Knees can be bent, dropping your chin towards your chest, and just allow the whole weight of the torso, head, and neck to draw you down, feeling the effects of gravity on the top of the body, pulling you down towards the earth. Good. Last breath. On your next inhale, gently begin to come on up. Take your time, hands to your hips. Slowly rise up with a flat spine. Good. Gently bend your knees, stepping your feet together. And we're going to come all the way back to the top of the mat. Bring your hands behind you. Your feet can be hips distance apart. You're going to interlace your hands and press your knuckles back as you bend your knees a lot. And then hinge forward, letting your knuckles come up towards the sky. You can stay with the knees bent or begin to straighten the legs any amount. And sometimes it feels good to sort of wiggle the arms back and forth to release the shoulder blades. There's a lot of, tension and knots that develop right in between the shoulder blades and in that area where it limits our motion. So sort of just moving side to side can help find a little bit more mobility in the shoulder blades. Good. Last breath. Gently release your hands. On an inhale, lift halfway, long spine. And then exhale, bend your knees, come all the way down to seated. Good. Send your legs in front of you, planting your feet down, and hold on behind your knees with your elbows out to the sides. Lift up super tall through the spine. And then on an inhale, pull your belly in, rounding your back. Exhale, lift up nice and tall. So modified boat Navasana. Good. Rounding into it. Feel the shoulder blades move out to the sides of the body. And exhale, lift up tall. One more time. Inhale, round. Exhale, lift up. Okay, from here, we're going to come into two different options. So the first is we're all going to bring our right leg forward. Left leg can come back and stay bent. So let me move to this side so you can see my left leg just bent behind me. So that's the first option you can take. This is for deer pose. We're going to hinge forward and fold over the right leg. You can pull the right foot in as close to the body as you need. It does not have to be parallel to the short end of the mat. So that you can stay here, or if you're somebody who likes pigeon pose, you can come onto your fingertips and slide your left leg back long on your mat. So either way, you're gonna set up the way that feels most comfortable for you. Take a deep breath in here, lengthening your spine. And then as you exhale, hinge forward over your right leg. You can walk your hands forward, maybe come down to your forearms. If that's not accessible for you, just stay upright. And then bend the elbows back a little bit. Let yourself come to more of a 45-degree angle. And then see if you can bring your palms down. So wherever you're at, begin to relax through the torso. Close your eyes and think about releasing the muscles of your hips, your inner thighs. Those areas tend to be super tight for most of us. And then when we come into a position like this, the muscles automatically tense up and feel uncomfortable. But we don't need them to be tense right now. The floor is holding us up, so the muscles don't need to work. So as we hold here, see if you can focus on your breath and thinking about moving breath to those areas that are feeling tight or just uncomfortable. Consciously think about allowing those muscles to relax and let go. Let your body just feel heavy, melting into the floor. Final breath. As you're ready, gently begin to lift your gaze, walking your hands back. If you're in pigeon, you're just going to drop over to that right side and we'll switch sides. So the left leg will come forward and right leg sweeps back behind you, setting up for your deer or pigeon pose. So again, if you're in pigeon, you're going to just lengthen out that leg all the way long behind you. Trying to keep your pelvis forward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinging over your left leg. Walking the arms forward, maybe coming down to the forearms. You could also grab opposite elbows and make a little space for your head to rest on. And then begin to soften through the hips. Through the belly, shoulders, and all the way up through the neck and the face. Just letting all of the stress and tension that's built up over the week, let it go. And we're beginning to fully relax and surrender here as we get closer to our final Shavasana. One more deep breath. On your next inhale, begin to rise back up, walking your hands in. And then if you're in pigeon, just move over to that left side of the body and draw your legs back together. We're all going to sweep our legs back behind us, coming back to that tabletop position. We're going to take one very gentle inversion before we head onto our backs. So tuck your toes, pressing into the balls of the feet, and walk your hands back closer to your knees, scooping out the belly. From here, you're going to bring the top of your head to the floor, and you want it to be that flatter spot at the top of the head, not the hairline. So bring your chin to your chest as you bend your elbows and let the top of the head rest on the ground. Then from here, you can reach back and grab onto the backs of your legs, your calves, or ankles. So whatever you can reach.
And then just feel that grounding effect of the top of the head pressing gently into the earth. Sit bones stay high and the low belly scoops in and up. So our forward folds that we've been working on tonight really help us to come inward, moving out of the chaos around us and all of the external sensations, allowing the nervous system to calm down. Settling in. Soften through the eyes and the jaw. One more deep breath. Gently bring your hands forward underneath your shoulders. Untuck your toes and then just hinge back, coming towards a child's pose as you rock towards the front of the forehead. You can open the knees wider now and let the chest melt down towards the ground as you reach your arms forward. Or if it's more comfortable for you to keep the legs together, feel free to stay there. Slowly begin to lift your chest, walk your hands back towards your knees. Slide your legs to one side and flip all the way over onto the back. Lower down, nice and easy. And gently draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. Plant your feet back down on the mat, hips distance apart, and we'll take 3 slow lifts up into bridge pose, very gently. Make sure you can feel your heels with your fingertips. As you inhale, begin to press into the backs of the arms and into the feet, lifting your hips up. As you exhale, slowly lower all the way back down, one vertebrae at a time. Again, inhale, hips lift, and then you lift one vertebrae at a time, coming up to a point that's comfortable for you. Exhale, spinal roll all the way back down. And final time, inhale, lifting into bridge. Exhale, slow, lower down. Good. From here, extend your left leg long on the mat. Draw your right knee in and across the body for a twist. Bringing your left hand to the outside of the leg, your right arm can extend open. Just for a moment, feeling that twist through the spine as your chest revolves open towards the sky. And then slowly make your way back through center. Send your right leg long on the ground as your left knee comes up. Right hand to the outside of the leg as you draw the leg across your body. One final breath here. And gently come all the way onto the back, extending your legs out long. Bringing your arms alongside you with your palms facing up for Shavasana, our final rest. Feeling that length that you've created through the body. Now let everything just melt down into the earth. Your fingers might curl in a little bit. Feet can flop open. Fully relaxed.
surrendering into your resting pose. You are free to stay here for as long as you like, but for those of you that need to continue on with your evening, you can gently begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, circle wrists and ankles. On an inhale, stretch your arms back overhead. Exhale, bending your knees, plant your feet on your mat, and then gently drop your legs over to the right, coming to lay on the right side. As you're ready, begin to lift all the way back up to a comfortable seat on your mat, crossing your ankles. Draw your hands to heart center, take a final deep breath in. Exhale, bowing your chin towards your chest, thanking yourself for this time, making the space to practice and to come into the end of your week and your weekend feeling light and refreshed. Have a wonderful evening. Namaste. Thank you so much. See you next time.